Welcome to Wise Oracle of the Lights 1111. This is going to be more of a it's a collective reading, but I'm going to do this for the first time without any cards, okay? We're gonna channel these messages because I've been feeling this. Ooh. And I did do a card reading that's probably going to be posted right before this reading. I did this one yesterday. I just hadn't posted it. It's like almost a 2-hour long reading, y'all. I haven't done readings for y'all in a while. I have been going through my own. Obviously, we're all having. I feel like this is a collective thing, and I'm not the only one feeling this. I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one. We're not alone here, y'all. And this is about divine feminine, a feminine energy. Okay, we got a divine feminine energy here. We got a feminine energy here. That's more like a karmic feminine, toxic type feminine. And then we have this should be divine masculine energy, who's really not being a divine masculine. He's a masculine energy appearing. I feel this heaviness, and I went to sleep like this last night after, and I didn't do the reading like last night. I had this reading done even before I went into work. So, but pretty much since I've done that reading, I've been holding this. And at some point while I'm at work, I take a break to go to the bathroom, and I'm hearing the song on the loudspeaker at work, and then I go into the bathroom stall, and tears start streaming down my eyes. I'm crying like this, y'all. If I was just happy-go-lucky, I feel like every energy in this has a bit of a... Now, divine feminine doesn't feel stuck. Not in her situation, like her personal world, what she's doing with her life. She doesn't feel stuck, but she has this stuck feeling here that she's not quite understanding, because where she may not have for divine feminine, in her struggles, and this divine feminine hasn't done this, hasn't been going through these struggles in just this moment, hasn't been going on for just the past couple of months. The way people do divine feminine, it's every single energy that approaches divine feminine gives divine feminine this type of energy. No matter who it is, whether it's the masculine energy or other feminine energies, they're always coming to divine feminine with this energy like divine feminine is beneath them and should bow down to them. Like she should be not the one. The divine feminine is the one you are going to bow down to. You're looking at her in this particular light because it's a mirror reflection of who you are, feminine. This is why you are looking at feminine energy, are looking at divine feminine in this light, because that's who you are. You looking at divine feminine as if she's the problem, and she is not. Her attention isn't focused on you or whatever you got going on with the masculine energy. You're the one holding the masculine who should be divine. But you know feminine energy, karmic feminine energy, you know what you're doing by holding this masculine, keeping him stuck. You know. And that's the worst part about it is she knows. And she tries to mimic and mirror divine feminine's energy, having this impression of divine feminine energy. That's the impression who she is in real life, giving the whole world the impression that they are the divine feminine, trying to mirror divine feminine's energy. Divine feminine doesn't need that materialistic crap to make her happy. You, on the other hand, karmic feminine, you need that to be happy. It's not enough. You need more and more. And if you don't get it, you're just not happy. You can't just be happy. I feel it's divine. I feel, the energy in this situation is heavy, and the fact that divine feminine is feeling the energy but doesn't have any idea why, but does. She knows divine feminine is doubting herself in this situation, in her intuition about that, because of the way things went. She is looking at it like divine feminine is kind of like she knows, but then she doubts it some sort of way. She knows that if this masculine did what he had to do, cutting cords and moving toward divine feminine, becoming his masculine self, she knows that even though she may not go back into this like energy like that, and she keeps moving on her path, she knows that when this masculine turns and starts turning into his divine self, there is nothing going to stop this. You can sink your claws into this fella all you want. You can have as many babies with him as much as you want. It's just, I mean, I'm almost to the point to think that the masculine understands the situation a little more than that feminine would actually believe. He understands this, and how she trapped and manipulated him, and that he wouldn't have put her up in this lifestyle had it not been for her being pregnant. And the way society and the world believes that if he got her pregnant, how dare he, I don't know, not marry her. He would have taken care of his kids, regardless of the situation. He would have been a daddy to the baby, regardless. He did not have to marry her. But because of the way everyone else believed it should have been, he did it. Based on that, he knew in that moment he was just marrying her because she was pregnant. He knew this. But he denied that fact. He told himself he loved her. But he was never in love. There was not that spiritual connection. It was more of a trauma bonding, codependency kind of thing. They might have grown up together some sort of way, and that's all they knew here. It's a codependency. It's like a habit. You know, it's like, now that I've done this, you know, he comes to the point where he's not ever had this. And when he sees the divine feminine, he starts to have these feelings that he thought he had, and he not had these other feelings for any other person ever until he saw divine feminine. And now he's in his head looking at life differently. It hurts him to I mean, he's going he thinks about the divine feminine constantly. There's no telling how long the separation between the masculine and divine feminine, because I feel like divine feminine went on her own path and he stays stuck in this, but he's still looking at this. Divine feminine does go back and look at it, but she doesn't stay stuck in it. She doesn't dwell in it. She knows that divine feminine is divine. She gets it. We don't have to explain anything to divine feminine. She's going to move on gracefully. She's going to accept it. You don't want to see her value, her worth. She's going to walk away. If you might have caught this divine feminine maybe, I don't know, about, I don't want to say 10 years ago, because that might not, well, maybe that could have been the case. But maybe a little bit longer, you might have gotten her to do stuff like that. She don't do that no more. Divine feminine might have at one point stayed in something, getting breadcrumbs, not getting appreciated, this, that, and another, and stayed in it. Because divine feminine wasn't doing it because divine feminine was fighting for what she loved. That's why she stayed in things that she shouldn't have stayed in. She was hoping and praying for someone to see her for who she truly was. And this masculine's over there with this feminine, and this feminine's giving this impression to the world that she's this strong, independent woman. And how can you even, those energies around feminine energy, how can you not see her? How can you not understand that had she had not had what she has with him, she wouldn't have what she has? She wouldn't amount to even a little bit of what the divine feminine is doing all by herself. Divine feminine's been doing this on her own for such a long time that if this feminine energy was to try to remotely do anything independent, single, like divine, it wouldn't last a second. This wouldn't happen. She would have to go get drunk and pop pills or whatever else is on her drug of choice list. She needs to get away from the kids. She's had enough of the kids right now. Can you take them? I need a break. You have kids? You need a break from your kids? That's a 24/7 job, lady. You don't get a break. You don't. Sorry. Date nights are over. Partying time is over. You became a mother. You don't get to do all of that stuff now. You made that choice. It wasn't his fault. He didn't just do this all by himself. It takes two to tango. And you know you manipulated him with your body in the very beginning anyway. You never really loved him. You saw him for how you could drain him and keep him stuck. That's what got you pregnant. That's what got you married to this fellow. That's what got you the materialistic stuff you got today. While you're looking at divine feminine like, she don't even have all of this. Strong energy here, y'all. It's bringing out a feisty side in me. The masculine he's done made his mind up. He's opened up that third eye, y'all. He's had his enlightenment. He's had his activation. He's had his dark nights of the soul. He still stays up late at night thinking about you, divine feminine. And I say you because I feel like for the majority of the watchers on my videos would be more of a divine feminine on that side. That's what I feel. If there is feminine energy looking, there could be some feminine energy watching, just like there could be some of this divine masculine who should be divine masculine parading around in such a way. But deep down, he's like, and there's a very good possibility that there's some energy out there watching these videos. And if it's either one of them, I feel like that's the point in this video. That's why I keep being drawn into it. And even with this heavy burden that I'm feeling, I still have this happy-go-lucky stuff, you know? So I know it's not my energy, personally. I mean, I literally just had a friend kill himself. I'm the one who found him. And I go into an energy and mourn this and feel those energies, but then I release it and I continue to move in a path that I know I'm supposed to be headed in, and that's not to be stuck and dwelling in things that I can't change. I can only fix what I'm able to fix, and I'm going to do that. That's what divine feminine energy would do. They're not going to go because of the situation blaming themselves and drunk in the bar rooms and or going from one guy to the next guy, you know. She doesn't do that. She has emotions. She feels things. This is divine feminine. She feels everything. She's a very emotional, sensitive energy. She's not out there trying to hurt anybody at any point. She never has a vindictive intent. She's not like, oh, what you did to me, I'm coming back to get you. You better watch your back. She's not doing that. She doesn't do this. Never. She says what she has to say, does what she does, and learns the lessons that need to be learned. She looks for the lesson that needs to be learned, and then she takes the lesson that she's learned and moves on in life. Feminine energy doesn't do that. Feminine energy is vindictive, toxic, telling the world she's a great mom. And this is not the case, y'all. The masculine energy is definitely in I feel like mostly that energy is what I'm feeling, because every time I go down to the masculine energy, that's where I start to feel this. And it's sad, y'all, because if you see it like I'm seeing it, this masculine is a divine masculine. He's been this divine masculine all his life. And that's all he wanted to be for that feminine that he's with. But the feminine is not divine feminine. So all she does is keep draining his energy, draining him and draining him. And this could be years, y'all. And he's looking back at all of this and he's like, lady, what about me? No, everything I've done for you, I put you this, that, and another. Come on now. And then nothing that he does for her, she sure should be like, I'm sorry, I get it, I'll change, you're right. And then things will get okay. And then, at this point, I don't even know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of, and as much as the feminine energy tries to mimic the divine feminine energy, the masculine energy is looking at her like, because I don't know who you are already, and you parading around the world, and he don't say nothing to anyone because he is not that type of energy to go and talking like this. But he understands, and he's waiting for this feminine just to be true to who she is, so everyone could see this for themselves instead of running his mouth. And because he knows that if he says anything like this, they're not going to believe him anyway. They're going to take her side because she's manipulative. That's what she does. She's got her family believing she's this good girl. She's not though. And the fact that the people around her don't see that, because she is, let's say if she's got parents or grandparents that help her out of some of her financial problems, y'all don't know. Clearly she's not independent, because you wouldn't have to be. And then they're looking at him like, well, why she can't take care of bills? She's married. Because she's not doing nothing. Well, she's got a job, maybe, I don't know, but I don't know if whatever she's doing with her job is like helping more than it's just making her happy, and she don't have to work hard for what she's got, and she's got everyone else taking care of everything for her. So why does it matter? She could lay it low at her job or whatever she's doing, and it looks like she's doing something great, but is she really? Or is it just for show? I have a hard time. I have all this, and I know it's not mine. I don't have this stuff going around me. I don't have anyone in my personal life that I'm associated with. I barely associate with 1 or 2 people, y'all. I mean, I associate with people, but that closeness and always hanging. Divine Feminine doesn't do this. Divine Feminine isn't seeking attention. She doesn't care. She's moving on in life. She's like, you don't wanna, what? If someone's giving Divine Feminine a phone number, she's like, okay, you get, if it's a masculine of some sort, they wanna, here, you wanna have my phone number. He's like giving her his phone number, and then she's in her mind like, well, surely he gave me his phone number. He's ready for commitment, right? He wants to take this to a level where he's ready for commitment because he gave you, Divine Feminine, his phone number. Where in his mind, he gave you his phone number, but he's probably given his number out to many females, and he's just looking at you as well as everyone else, and you know he's not there with a commitment, so why did he give you his phone number? That's where you're at with it. And now you like roll it off your back, you ignore it, you move on, and then they're looking at it, why you're not coming toward me? You're like, well, you wasn't doing anything. You want me to chase after you? You ain't even giving me a reason to think that you are worth my effort to start chasing after you in the first place. Oh, I see that at this point. Divine Feminine's very clear with it. I don't know why I keep saying I see it. Because like I'm saying, I feel like a lot of Divine Feminine is what watches my videos. And I am a Divine Feminine. And if this is why, y'all. We are the same here. We have the same energies. So whereas I say I actually mean you, Divine Feminine, because I'm a Divine Feminine. And when I say feminine, her, I mean the other her, karmic her, feminine energy. And then when I say them, and I might say him, her, and that doesn't mean it's a him and a her, because if Divine Feminine gets it, we understand we have masculine and feminine energy within us. It's not the same as being female or male. So whether it's a him, I keep saying him, could actually be a her. Divine Feminine gets that. Whereas the karmic feminine's looking at me like, and the masculine energy's looking at me like, I got such big ego, I'm a man, how can I have feminine energy? Even divine masculine is looking like this because he's not being divine masculine, so he's looking at this like, I got feminine energy. I'm not a female. Yeah, you're not a female. You're right, right. You're right about that. But you do have feminine energy. And how you know this, divine masculine, I'm going to call you divine masculine, that you have feminine energy is because you are divine. You can't have that feminine flow if you believe you're just a man. And this masculine energy being with this feminine has got him believing that if he's being sensitive, which is feminine energy, if he's being sensitive, he's not being a man. Divine feminine gets it. You can go to divine feminine with all your sensitivity. She's not going to tell you you're being less of a man. She's going to understand you're just like, you're a human being and you have those emotions. Regardless of whether you're a man or a female, we all get these emotions. But because he's a man, he's not supposed to feel his emotions. And that's what the feminine, her, is thinking. That because he's a man, he shouldn't be sensitive. He shouldn't be at any point weak and cry and want to be loved. Tells him, well, you need to be a man. Well, you need to be a woman. And she's not being a woman. She's going to sit there and think she's being a woman? No, you're just a female, lady. And I ain't going to call you a lady no more either, because ladies to me have class, and she doesn't have that. She doesn't have class. She's probably one of those females that wears outfits where her boobs are hanging out just to seek attention. She's an attention seeker. Divine feminine is not like that. She leaves that for her divine feminine. For her divine masculine. She leaves that for him. She's not out there flaunting it for everyone else. She believes it's sacred. And that it's only when it comes with divine feminine to divine masculine, this is sacred. And you don't share that and flaunt it off with everything else. You don't. You only see each other. Everything else doesn't matter. That's not how that karmic feminine's looking at this at all. She's selfish, and he knows it, and he's waiting for everyone else to see it. He's waiting for her to finally be honest with herself, so he can be honest with himself. Why don't you, masculine energy, just be honest with yourself? Understand that whatever's going on there is done. You've already made your final understanding, and to understand that to get out of that stuck, heavy energy, you have to turn your back and walk away. And if you have kids in the situation, you staying there isn't going to make your kids. This is hard for the kids. Because whether you think they're hearing or understand their children, they understand mommy and daddy don't love each other. They don't see y'all connecting like that. You don't think that does mental damage to your children by staying there? You didn't already ruin those children by staying there? To show your children, whether you have sons or daughters, to stay in a relationship like this, no matter what? Why? Because that's what religion is teaching you? That you should accept this understanding? No. What about them children? They don't understand this. And they're going to use this in their life when they get older. You can guarantee that you're putting a mark on your children by staying here. And if you think you're doing right by your kids by staying there and not walking away, you're only doing more damage to them children. And it's not about you or her. It's about your kids. And apparently, you're staying there because I'm not getting this. It's contradicting to me. You want happy, you want love, and you want your kids to be happy, and you want them to know love, yet you stay in this unhappy, loveless marriage, and you think your children are going to know happiness and love? Why? Because they're innocent right now? They didn't get into those adult years where they start really looking at things in their way and looking back at how they were raised? You know that you did it. You know that you're living life the way you're living life because of how you were raised and what community and society believes you should do. You know this. And the fact that you're divine masculine and aren't that, you're empathetic, you understand things, and you seeing things. I don't know what the masculine is holding back for. Like, I don't get it. Because the masculine's definitely made his mind up. At this point, I don't think there's a real connection between him and her. He's so focused on divine feminine. And divine feminine, to the masculine, divine feminine looks like she doesn't even, is she thinking, divine feminine is definitely thinking about you, sir. But what was she supposed to do? What was divine feminine supposed to do? Stick around and wait for you to make up your mind? Because you clearly were not doing that. Was she supposed to come to you and pour her whole entire heart out? No. With her knowing that what she's already been through those relationships that you're dealing with right now, she's been through it. But she didn't stay. She moved on. She got what she got, and she moved on. And she sees you like you see her. She's waiting for this because she still has hope. She still believes. After everything she's been through, she still wants to give it. She still wants to receive it. And she's waiting. And all the masculine, this divine, if he's truly divine masculine, he saw her. And in that moment he felt it. And he should have started doing the work. And he should have. First time. And he didn't do that. So now it goes into the loop. And he gets another cycle through it. And then he tries this again. And then he doesn't do anything. He hesitates. He stops. And he goes back into the loop again. And it's harder each time. Each time. Each loop. It gets harder and harder and harder. More suffering. More suffering. This is why I have this understanding about how our energy works. And when we're in the meat suit, the idea is to ascend out of it and go into a higher dimension, to be reborn into a higher dimension. Or we're descending and staying stuck like that. When you pass on throughout the meat suit, you're actually going to get reborn back into lower dimensions, and there's more pain and more suffering. And the lower dimension you get reborn into is more pain and more suffering, and it's less lifespan. It's like going toward the fires of hell, metaphorically speaking. And the more you pass on and be reincarnated into the next life and go into a higher dimension each time, you're about going closer to the blue sky, white puffy cloud heaven, less pain, less suffering, longer lifespan, stronger, brilliant. Come on, y'all. Obviously. And this is what happens when you get stuck in a karmic loop. If you don't learn the lessons and move on from that, the next karmic loop, you get it starts to look pretty, and then it's like back into the cycle, but it's more pain and more suffering. It's all connected, y'all. The masculine is starting to he's in his deep thought thinking, like really deep thoughts. And he's definitely made up his mind. If he does anything for that feminine, it's basically because the situation. and she is the mother of his kids. But it's like, here, just take it and just leave me alone, kind of stuff. And I mean, it's not gonna make you happy, so I don't. You're just gonna take it, and whether it makes you happy or not, you're still gonna take it. And they're here, have it. It's not gonna do nothing for me. I'm not materialistic. That shit is not what's making me happy. It's not something that I have to have. I'm only doing this because this is what you want, and I'm trying to make you happy, and you're not getting it. So I'm done. You can do whatever you want and say whatever you want. I don't believe anything you're saying at this point. I've already moved into a different direction. I may not be there in this particular moment, but that's where my head is at. That's where my emotions and my feelings are at. And this masculine is definitely out of the picture when it comes to that, but he's still there. He's still there. I don't know if he's has the ability to come toward the feminine energy, or if he's sitting there waiting, wondering if this divine feminine's coming back toward, but the divine feminine's not doing that. The universe isn't going to take the divine feminine's path back to you, because you stay in there. You're still there. You're still in the cords. Even if the divine feminine was to come back over here and you still got those cords, there's no telling how feminine energy is going to come up in there and try to mess this up. You know that. So you have to walk away, and then you come toward divine feminine. How do you come toward divine feminine? Correct, for one thing. And how do you find her? You know how. You're divine masculine. You already know how. You've already had your mind made up, and you already know how to find divine feminine. You do. I could tell you divine feminine is, she's not feeling stuck. She's doing fine. She's available. She's single, she's not available, but she's available. She's available to her divine masculine. And if he comes to her correct, she's not going to say no. I know that much. Y'all want the same things. If you're feeling like coming toward divine feminine and you having to walk away from that materialistic stuff and you won't have nothing to offer, that materialistic stuff is not what divine feminine's looking for you to offer to her. She wants you. She wants your energy. She wants your love. The effort that you put into all of that you could have been putting into this. And whatever you think you're losing over there, it's going to come back to you when y'all working together, because you're a power couple. And you can have so much more with divine feminine than you'll ever have with her, because she's not working for it. She's not putting in the effort. And whatever is going on there, you know you're doing great on your own. If you wasn't with her, you know, and you were doing this single by yourself, you're good. You could be living a happy life even on a single stuff, but you're dragging her around with you because you got kids and you're feeling stuck to this and chained to this, and just because you got kids, I mean, she's definitely not doing her part. So where she's going to take you to court and try to fight you for kids, I mean, really? You think you deserve alimony and child and all? He's going to pay child support out of him being hurt. Them kids is dead. He's going to do the right thing by his kids. You don't have to drag him to court and force him to pay child support. He's going to do the right thing. But that's not what feminine energy is going to try to do. She's going to try to make herself appear like this, have family money, take him to court, keeping the kids from him, draining him for child support. It's unnecessary. Because he decided she wasn't doing her part. And she's like, how dare you? You weren't okay with this? You was okay with this? Yeah, but I didn't think that you were just going to hang on my leg the whole time, and that I was never going to feel the appreciation and the love that I should get as your husband and the father of your children. You're not treating me like I'm She's not, y'all. She wants him to put her on a pedestal while she's kicking him down, keeping him low down into the dirt, making him feel like he's not worth it. Like the only thing that's making her happy is, here, have some more money, have some more materialistic stuff. Because that's all that she cares about. Alright, now this video is going into an hour. I didn't want it to be this long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I just had to get that energy off of me and speak to the divine masculine. I'm reaching out to this, sir, because it's for divine feminine being stuck in something and not getting appreciated. Divine feminine understands that because she's been in those situations before, which has led her to the point. But when she saw what she saw for how she was supposed to see it, when she didn't continue to do it no more. She get into a situation and they start showing her red flags. She's like, what? Oh, wait. Am I seeing this correct? She might give him another red flag at some point. She's like, out the door. And today, divine feminine's like, wait, one red flag? That's enough for me. And divine feminine will even have a heartbreak through it, because that's who divine feminine's energy is. Very sensitive, very caring, very nurturing, and to have another energy come toward them and then not... It hurts divine feminine. It hurts her little heart. It hurts her to have to tell this other energy at this point, go yourself. She may do that and sound like a total biatch, but it hurts her heart. She don't want to be that evil person. And she's not being evil, but she's setting boundaries. There's a difference between being a complete, just crazy, I gotta be on every occasion, or being a female dog when the timing is right, and not allowing people crossing boundaries. There's times divine feminine wakes up looking ready to face the world. Whereas that other feminine energy looks up like, oh, fuck my life. And then walks out pretending to be a fake, phony, hey y'all, everything's great at home. Look at me, I got the high life. Don't you see it? Posting stuff all over social media, looking for the likes, looking for the comments, looking for the approval, looking for the attention. And other people around them are like, yeah, girl, you're doing your thing. We're so happy for you. You deserve this. Masculine's like, alright, is anyone ever going to see this for her true colors? She's awful flashy. Alright, y'all. I think I've done enough of this channel and not pulling one card. I think it had to do with the reading yesterday. That reading went on for 2 hours and I have been feeling this energy. So I'm hoping that this one gets that out there and gets to where it needs to get. Because I don't want it no more. I don't want to be carrying something that doesn't belong to me. You could take it back. I really wish you would. Do something with yourself, masculine, and stop feeling a stuck energy. And if the masculine is watching and when I say the masculine and the divine, I don't mean just one energy. This could be many masculine energies who are truly divine energies on the inside, walking around with this persona, with this materialistic life, but it's not being divine because they feel stuck. So it's not just one individual person. This is many, many, many. It's a collective, y'all. So as I might be using singular in a lot of this, there's a lot of plurals going around here. And you, in your situation, whoever might be watching, whether you are the divine feminine, the divine masculine, or that karmic feminine, either way this goes. We're all this energy. We all, in the meat suit, have this emotion, the human nature to us. So whether I don't know why I feel like I gotta keep explaining some things, and I feel like a broken record. Because at some point I don't feel like even this divine masculine is understanding the whole feminine and masculine energy. Even he is looking at me like, I'm a man. How am I supposed, how can I be dainty feminine? You already know how sensitive you are. Sensitivity isn't about being sensitivity is more of a feminine. Nurturing energy is more of a feminine energy. And a man can be nurturing. A man can be sensitive. Okay? I had to stress that out. That's how I am sometimes, y'all. Because I'm trying to figure out how you don't see it. And the masculine sees it, but he doubts something here. Like, I'm seeing it, but I don't believe it. Maybe there's a lot of church stuff going on here, religion thing. So he's looking at all of this, and he believed that maybe Jesus died on the cross for his sins. He might be that masculine energy. I mean, divine masculine and spiritual. That's what makes him divine masculine. And religion will have you believe that religion is spiritual. And in some sense it is for me, religion is a whole bunch of lies, deception, all of that not toxic stuff sprinkled with a little truth. And that's what I feel about scientists. Lies and deception sprinkled with a little truth. You only got a little truth in everything here, y'all. That's why we're so confused about ascension and dissension. We look at religion in a spiritual way, and religion isn't spiritual. It's not. They teach you materialistic. When you pass on and go into heaven, are you taking your home with you? Are you going to have another home in heaven? Or are you floating around in a blue sky, white puffy cloud kind of thing? Are you taking the meat suit with you? Do you look like who you look like while you're living this life in heaven? Do you get to take your husband and your children and your mommy and daddy and grandparents, and y'all have your own little heaven when you die? They're waiting for you in heaven, chilling in a blue sky. And some of them might be standing at the pearly gates of heaven, waiting in a line to be judged by God behind a podium with a book of judgment. Materialistic stuff. It's keeping you stuck in materialistic crap. That's what keeps you descending. Because you think this is it. And that's it. When I die, you're more worried about a big house. In a higher dimension, they're not worried about things like that. They don't need things like that. Remember the pyramids? Like what you talk about, Brandy? The pyramids. Don't get me started on the pyramids, because this video is going to go way too long. And I have to go to work today, y'all. So don't be asking. I don't know. I feel questions and questions and questions. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video out and maybe get to another video. And I say maybe, but the way I've been feeling lately, this is going to be a regular thing, y'all. So get ready for it. Peace, love, and light. And namaste.